Welcome. My name is Sean Marshall, and this is In My Head. It's basically a behind the scenes look at some of the creativity of kids' ministry. There's a lot that goes on in my head, and I figured some of you guys need to know it. So, just a bit of a background. I've been in kids' ministry for 25 years now, and I've also worked a little in youth ministry. I've worked in little church, a tiny church of 60 people. I've worked in a medium sized church and a large church, and I've worked with different leaders from around the world. And I can tell you that kids are essentially the same no matter where you go. But there's one thing about kids is that kids grow up. But I'm convinced that kids are always in there. There's always a kid inside of you. And I don't know if you're 90 years old watching this. Last night I met a lady at this revival we're doing at William Jessup, and she was 102 years old. And as she was getting out of the golf cart, I was driving this golf cart. I couldn't help but think she's a little girl that wants to laugh and play. And so I don't care how old you are, there's always a kid inside of you that's wanting to play and laugh and have fun. So the great thing about kids ministry is that you get to do things for kids at that age. But in some ways, I think people never grow up. But they do grow up in their body. They grow up in their mind. They get older and they go into youth ministry. So today our topic is why is it a good idea for kids leaders and youth leaders to work together? Now I can tell you I don't have all of the facts here, but I can tell you that generally historically uh, kids leaders and youth leaders do not work together because they're very different people. Uh, I wouldn't say different as in mission, objective. They're all individual people. And like I said, they're all kids inside. But when it comes to reaching kids and youth, the strategies have always been very different. And over the years, I finally just got to the point where I'm like, why? Why is kids ministry different than youth ministry? And I personally don't think it is. I think you're still reaching people at the place where they need to be reached. And kids and youth have different developmental needs, social needs. Their social construct is a lot different. There's stuff that we will not talk to kids about that we'll talk to youth about because of life exposure. But that's what we're talking about today. And I have brought in a master. He has his doctorate in all things. If you, he's actually he's actually watching right now, and he's like, I don't have a doctorate. He has a doctorate in being awesome and helping me figure out how to merge kids ministry and youth ministry together in a way. And I very much have appreciated his respect of me, of the ministry, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a little while. But I want to share a story. When I was back ministering back in Weed at the Church of 60 People, we ran kids and youth together sometimes, not in the services, but like I would help with youth and youth leaders would help in kids. And I found such like joy in that. And we would do skits in youth that maybe we couldn't do with kids, but the relational factor, how everything kind of connected, the way we ran our services, we found were very similar. Just some of the content was different. Then I flash forward. I'm now at Destiny Christian Church, and I remember during COVID, Pastor Andrew Allen, who's our special guest today, he called up and he said, "Hey, we need your help. We're making this video, and can you like come and do like a magic show for the video?" And I really had no idea what they wanted or what they expected. I didn't really know. I might have done magic tricks, but I was just like, I don't know. But it was exciting that the youth pastor asked the weird kids pastor, because all kids pastors are weird. Am I right? If you're not weird, I don't know if you really can be in kids ministry. You have to be a little weird, a little insane. But Andrew asked if I could do a magic show with him, and I thought, like, how cool is that the youth ministry saw any value in the kids ministry? Because generally, and I'm just speaking generally, they're treated as kind of separate things, different parts of the building. Uh, Generally, I think that people think youth ministry is a lot cooler. I kind of disagree. I think working with teenagers is awkward. Kids are very truthful and honest. They'll tell you if something's boring. But look, I'm judging because I'm a kids pastor. So that's my perspective. But I really honestly believe that youth ministry and kids ministry, they need leaders and programs. They need to come together in certain ways, not so much in services. But we're going to talk about that today. So Andrew called and asked if I could do a magic show. A little bit of a backstory. I came in with a top hat and some tricks, and I had no idea what we were going to do. I knew I was going to do some tricks, and then I thought I need to have a character. So I remember we started rolling on the camera, and I came up and I was like, "Hello," and I remember saying a few words, and I was like, I said, "Cut." I can't. I said, "This is. I don't like what I'm not liking myself. Like I'm cringing myself. I don't like myself in this." So I remember going down behind the barrel, and all I could think of was Jack Black's when he was in Kung Fu Panda, and he went skadoosh. And so I'm just gonna pop up and say skadoosh. And when I said skadoosh, something broke in my brain, I guess. And so we're gonna show you this video in 3 different parts. But this first part, literally, you're watching it live. This was not scripted. It just happened, and none of this was planned. So here's the Great Zamboni, Act 1, as requested by Pastor Andrew Allen.
Hey, what's up, Fearless? We got something special for you guys, something we've never done before, and I'm going to introduce a special guest. Give it up for Zamboni.
It's the Great Zamboni.
All right, give it up for the Great Zamboni.
No, the Great Zamboni.
The Great Zamboni.
Great.
Great. Give it up for the Great Zamboni. All right.
Can you smell that?
I can smell it.
Can you smell it?
I can smell it.
Smell it.
No.
It smells like magic. I need a volunteer. Who would like to volunteer on this magical evening? Anybody?
I just think it's really funny. Maybe I'm just laughing at myself, but it's just he did such a good job at pretending to be so annoyed. Maybe he was really annoyed. I don't know. But hey, we're gonna go to Book of the Week. Book of the Week? I almost said Book of the Month. I don't know why I said that. Today's Book of the Week is written by a former pastor of mine. He's the president of North Central University. He is a great leader, a great man, and he wrote this book called The Language of Influence and Personal Power. His name is Pastor Scott Hagan, or Dr. Scott Hagan, or President Dr. Pastor Scott Hagan. In this book, this is filled with just one-liners in leadership, but they're one-liners that make you really think. And speaking of kids and youth working together, there's a lot of, I believe that even as ministry leaders, we can have a lot of pride, and it takes the taking down of our pride to work together, because you're really exposing yourself. And wow, did I say exposing myself? That's not a good way to word that. You're exposing give me a word, Ben. My tax exemptions. You're really opening yourself up there and putting yourself out there, and you may be criticized. You may feel criticized, but I believe that as leaders, we have to work together with humility. So he says in his book, for an organization to be healthy, the relationships must create more energy than they burn. Wow. For an organization to be healthy, the relationships must create more energy than they burn. I've seen, unfortunately, a lot of burned relationships because of disagreements, or maybe there's a little pride, different ways of seeing things. But one thing that has been a breath of fresh air for me has been working with the youth department here. I have really grown to respect the youth department, what they do. I love what they do. But then in turn, they've respected what I do, and it just have made me feel so supported. Before I bring Andrew out, we're going to show the second part of the Zamboni. This is, again, none of what you're about to see was planned, scripted. We loosely talked about it, but Andrew had no idea what was getting ready to happen. So, and neither did I, for that matter. Enjoy.
Anybody who wants to have some great magical experience? You, sir. Hello. Welcome to the Great Zamboni Magic Show.
What is this? What is FUN?
Isn't it obvious? It stands for Fake Umbrella Nectar, which is what we're going to have when we experience the magic. You ready to see a trick?
Yes.
You ever go to the Walgreens store and get a receipt?
Yes.
It's really long, right?
Yes.
Not this one, though. It's short. What's the magic? Oh. Wrong Walgreens receipts, am I right?
Oh, sick.
Now for some actual magic! Smell it.
Smell it.
With your nostrils, smell it!
Smell what?
The magic.
Got it.
You ready?
Maybe.
Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Twirl that nose upward. Because it's time for a card trick. All the cards are different, are they not?
They are.
Okay. You just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Right there, are you sure?
I am positive.
I went 2 more. Do you care?
I don't.
Okay, watch this. Now take that card off the top, and I will cover my eyes. Did you pick it?
I did.
Are you having a good time?
So good.
Did you show everyone your card?
I did.
Okay. What I need you to do is tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Right there?
No.
Right there.
Yeah.
I went 3 more.
You're the
Okay,
worst.
put it on the deck.
Which one?
Face down, right there. Magic. Are you ready for magic?
So ready.
I'll be right back. Skadoosh! I did not brush my teeth. All
I
right,
did not approve of any of this beforehand. I'm just letting you guys know. I've never seen any of this stuff.
here we go. I'm going to put a card in the hat, and your card is going to reappear. Count down from 3.
3.
3, 2, 1, go! Grab that for me, would you? Is this your card?
It is not.
All right, I'm gonna put another card in the hat. And ready. Let's count down from 3, 2, 1, go! Is this your card?
No.
You ever hugged your father?
Once.
Okay, let's try this one more time. This time, to get it right, we're going to put the whole deck in there because it's magic. Say magic.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Say magic.
Magic.
Okay. Count down from 3,
3.
2, 1, go! Is this your card?
No. You already guessed that.
Is this your card?
No. That was actually pretty sweet.
Does this look like your card?
That's the one.
What's not?
And he asked me back to do like more of those. Well, I've delayed long enough. I want to introduce a very good friend of mine, co-ministry leader at Destiny, the very famous Andrew Allen. Andrew, welcome.
Thank you. Oh, what a trip down memory lane that is.
Was I believe we were supposed to be social distancing at that point, and we did everything but.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, wiping the cards of the sweat. And are you gonna show the third part as well?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was definitely not sanitary.
Well, Andrew, thank you for coming on. This is technically a kids ministry a vlog, but um, we have an important topic to discuss, and that is how to kind of merge kids ministry and youth ministry together as far as leadership.
Mhm.
So, just starting off, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Yeah, so my name is Andrew. I am the high school pastor at Destiny Christian Church. I have been here for about 4 years and love every second of it. A couple things about myself. I am married, been married for 7 years, August 2nd. And my beautiful wife, Gabrielle, she works at the law office and we do life together. She's awesome, my better half indeed. And this is my dog. We have no children. His name is Strider.
Oh, I think we may have lost. We're gonna get Andrew back in here, but the last thing we heard is Andrew's dog's name is Strider, and I was getting ready to ask. But Andrew, one of the things I'm going to ask is who does the decorating around your house, you or your wife? Is Andrew back?
No, we're still waiting on it. We're still waiting on the call back.
Still waiting. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it.
There it is.
I'm hearing it. He's
Okay.
somewhere. There he is. Welcome back, Andrew.
Where did I get disconnected at?
You introduced your dog Strider, but I was wondering who does the decorating in your house, you or your wife?
That is my wife. Oh, fun fact. How embarrassing. That blanket is up because I like to watch movies and there is a terrible glare on my screen, which you can actually see. So, first world problems indeed.
There we go.
So, just anything I can do to watch a good movie. But yeah, this is Strider, named after Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. I'm a huge nerd, love anime, just video games, all of it. So yeah, love life.
Awesome. I found out that you have a connection to Darth Maul and the Ninja Turtles. What is that connection?
I do. So, I mean, I guess it's a connection. Darth Maul and Snake Eyes from GI Joe are actually the same person. Ray Park, and Ray Park trained with the man that taught me martial arts, and that man's name is Larry Lamb. He's in the film industry and all that kinds of stuff, and still makes movies today. And he was Leonardo in the original Ninja Turtles movie from like the '90s. So he was a childhood hero of mine, and we met one day just kind of out of the blue. He offered me a job to work at his dojo and teach me martial arts. So I learned martial arts from Leonardo of the Ninja Turtles.
That is that is so awesome. When I found that out, because I grew up with Ninja Turtles and GI Joe, and obviously love Darth Maul is one of my favorite people. So
Yes.
do you tell the kids that you work with, like, does that give you street cred? Do they care? Like, because I mean, to me, if I told my kids that I worked with a Ninja Turtle, the kids would go crazy. But like, how do you use that to your advantage, or do you in youth ministry?
I honestly don't talk about it much. Uh, I have some kids try to challenge me to fights here and there, and when I put them down pretty quick, then they're just like fun fights here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I put them down quick, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know you, whatever." But I don't usually bring out the Ninja Turtles thing because this generation of teenagers, I don't know, doesn't know Ninja Turtles super well or anything like that.
Okay.
So yeah, my sensei was also in Power Rangers, so I talk more about Power Rangers than Ninja Turtles. So
That's awesome, man. Well, Andrew, one of the things I've always noted about you is you've always been really, really humble. Like, you have some serious street cred, and you come from a very well-known family, and but yet you've always remained humble. That's just one of the things about you, is that you're really cool and you're really humble, and those aren't often synonymous, especially with you know uh, someone that works in your area. I think that with given your background and I think that you might be prone to speak of yourself a little more often, but you don't. You always put other people first, and that's one of the things that's made it really easy to work with you. So thank you for your humility. It's inspiring.
it's very kind.
Um, Kids, I work in kids ministry, and kids, as we all know, get older, and they merge themselves into youth ministry. So can you talk just for a bit about the importance of, especially in a church environment, of the transition process from kids going into youth, and kind of what they need to have, what you would like to see them have as a youth pastor as they transition from stage to stage?
Absolutely. So there is a massive difference in individuals who have grown up in the church compared to the kids that are maybe coming to our youth ministry for the first time, and our VIPs on one of our Wednesdays. Um, I have a student leadership team of about 18 right now. And the individuals that lead our worship team, that lead our Wednesday night VIP check in and time where we take our guests out and all that kinds of stuff, it's amazing to see the percentage of them that have grown up through the children's ministries in the church, and now are effective leaders in youth. And so it is vital, to the health of my ministry to have effective leaders that have been. Am I good? Oh, I thought it froze again. Uh, to be effective leaders and taught as children. And the Bible talks about training a child in the way they should go. When they grow old, they won't depart from it. Sorry, Strider sees
Hey,
someone.
it's no problem.
But they won't depart from it. And that's exactly how it is in ministry. That's exactly how it is in their life. It's not just their disciplines. It's not just their interactions with God, but it is actually their truest selves within their ministries, their age respective ministries as well.
I love that you focus on them, like, not that they're focused on themselves, but I love that the focus is on their personal relationship with God, and not so much like a general, like, well, you guys are teens, so I'm going to relate with you as teens and as try to get into your culture. That it is an independent, individual relationship with God and meeting them
Yes,
where they're at. And I love that.
100%.
And I said earlier, I believe we're all kids. That, that if you think about the short lifespan that we have, we're all kids, and we just simply grow up and we get responsibilities, and we learn how to handle responsibilities, and we learn about relationships. So our bubble gets a little bigger. How do you handle the challenge of not, like, because I think you do a really good job at not just like trying to be cool with the kids, like, I'm going to follow youth culture and try to relate with them that way, but you are who you are. Like, you're Andrew and you like the things you like. How do you, like, what is your perspective on being yourself in ministry versus trying to follow the culture?
Yeah. So, I mean, I tell my kids this all the time, that the world doesn't need a copy or the person that you're trying to be. The world needs you more than anything. God
Mm,
created you specifically, your personality, and He's going to use that, not who you think you should be. And so it'd be incredibly hypocritical of me to preach that and not believe that myself.
mm.
Uh, my whole life, I've been a huge nerd. Uh, my dad, my brother have have always kind of made fun of me is such a terrible way to put it, but it's like it's a it's an Allen joke. If you get made fun of, then you're loved. But you know, being a nerd is just kind of who I've always been. I've also loved sports and had my fair share of run-ins with vehicles, and I built my first car with my dad and all kinds of stuff. So I've had a very blessed life, and it's allowed me to appeal to a lot of people. But when it comes to just me being me, I have learned that it's like a full-time job to try to be someone else, and it it avails nothing. And so in youth ministry, I just decided, I'm going to skip the jean jacket. I'm going to skip the fade, and I'm just going to, not wear the tight pants with rips in it. I'm just going to kind of be me. I'll wear uh, I'll wear shorts with grandpa socks and anime shirts, and we'll kind of see what happens here. And I was just me, and it's amazing to see how many people I've been able to connect with. And my first position as a youth pastor, when I came in, I was kind of forewarned about a couple of kids that didn't
Mm.
connect, did not like it there, always wanted to leave. They were kind of made to be there. And each and every one of those kids were anime fans. And
Wow.
to connect with them and build deep relationships with them and see them come to the Lord. And it's just kind of cool how God has used me in the deepest and nerdiest of ways. So I can't possibly be someone else, and I just don't want to be.
Yeah, um, I can tell you that, in a lot of things that I do, people consider weird, but I don't think I know I don't. I don't do any of the stuff that I do because I was told to do it or I was given a handbook on like how to reach kids.
Yeah.
It's honestly like I look at it like the kid in the sandbox. If I were in a sandbox and no one else was around, what would I do? Like, how would I spend my time? Well, I would probably build up something and then blow it up because it's fun for me. And so I think that what you said is really important. We have to be true to ourselves. And I'm really glad to hear that you do that in youth ministry. In fact, I was curious about your team. You said you have 11 other leaders,
So I have about 18 student leaders
18.
right now. Yeah.
18 leaders, and they're all probably very different. Do you tap into their differences and their passions and their like how do you go about setting up your leaders in places so that you maximize the effect, your reach of the kids?
Yeah. So it's interesting because they're at the age that they're trying to figure it out, trying to figure themselves out, what they like, what they don't like. And so you really do have to encourage them to find what they love. And we've got artists, we have musicians, we have dancers, we have tech nerds, gamers, jocks. We got everything.
Yeah.
And so I can't sit there and go to one of my artists and say, "Hey man, I need you to get up and speak on a Wednesday, do this, that, and the other, and be
Yeah.
outgoing, do all this." I need to play to his strengths and say, "Hey, in the teen center we have a blank wall. I want you to get an idea together and smack a mural on this thing, make it awesome, make it fearless based, and just have some fun." And through that, watching them bring people alongside and start to build relationship. And a lot of what we do is based on relationship. I believe that ministry moves at the rate of relationship, and so
It's
you
good.
really have to make that the core of what you're doing. That's a big driving vision for us at Fearless. But and finding different areas um, that they can grow in. What's not growing is dying, and so
Yeah.
that individual is very important. And also just doing life with them.
Yeah.
I When I first started, I expected so much of my leaders. I'd have kids that have practice on Wednesdays, and starting out, I would really get get down on them. Like, really shouldn't be choosing sports over this and that, and
Yeah.
it was wrong. And there was a time that I went through that, and I kind of got corrected on that. And now I ask my leaders, communicate with me, remember your priorities: God, family, school, church.
Yeah.
And so remember that order. And I do my best to be at their practices, I do my best to be at their games, and just doing life with them. They see that ministry so much more than they ever will in any of your sermons, any of that stuff. So yeah, just encouraging them to be themselves and strengthening those areas. Absolutely.
Encouraging them to be themselves. It's one thing that you've done really well, man. And I know for me, it meant a lot. By you asking me to help you with do magic tricks, you found out I did magic, and you asked me like, "Hey, can you do some magic tricks?" Because you found out I was not just did it for the kids, but you could probably tell that I was interested in it. In fact, we had several conversations about some of the clubs I belong to, and that made me feel like included. And I honestly, before you and I started working together, I mean, I can be a really insecure person. And as a kid, I was the kid in the corner who didn't really want to socialize much. I had my group of friends, but I really have always considered myself weird. And for you to highlight and celebrate something that is special to me, and then to include it, even if you don't understand it, um, it made me feel a bridge building between kids and youth. And I
Yeah.
felt like I had a place. I felt like even if I was in kids ministry, I felt like I had a weird kind of place on your team. Not that I'm inserting myself, but I felt included. And I think that's really important because ministry is lonely, especially in kids ministry where sometimes you feel like that weird kid on the playground with all the other ministries that are doing cool stuff. But I've seen you run around with armor on. In fact, I want to show a video. uh it's one of your the titles are no I won't, or what's the title of him? No,
You won't.
you no, you won't, right?
It's just you won't.
You won't. So this one's, I believe, is called "You Won't Cut Your Hair" because you are known for your long hair. And so before we show it, I want to give it some context. I saw this, and here's the funny thing: this totally would work in kids ministry. So you guys watching, agree or disagree? Would this work in kids ministry? Take a look.
Go.
Okay.
I feel like I'm yanking your hair out right now.
I can't feel it.
Andrew, there's no coming back. You gotta keep your head. Cut his neck afterwards. How do you feel? Feel it.
It feels lifeless.
It's a dead cat. You look like Karen.
And you guys do all kinds of stuff, even some stuff you've gotten in trouble for. Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. You know, we pepper sprayed our interns the day before they started, and it wasn't the best idea we've had. But Pastor Greg did say, maybe to his fault, he said this, that if your youth pastor doesn't make you kind of squirm and go a little crazy, then you don't have the right guy. So yeah, I remember that, and I just kind of try to push the envelope. So I try to make Pastor Greg as nervous as I can. So spray surfing behind his car, you know, throwing people over hills,
yep.
doing kinds of paintball challenges. Yeah, the U won'ts. We're kind of getting into dangerous territories.
Well, you see that is something I would tell you use in kids ministry. So connection made right there. So I remember your brother was upstairs with Pastor Greg once, and he looked out the window and he said, "Hey, Pastor Greg, look what you're paying your kids pastor to do." And he looked out the window, and Pastor Greg's like, "I don't want to look." He looked at the window, and I was literally in the trunk of a car pulling a box that was on wheels with a Mr. Baghead, which was Dale with the bag on his head, and we're trying to pull it off of a ramp to go over the edge of the embankment. And you know, I mean, whatever we got to do to reach those kids. So I want to show a video real quick. We made a video during COVID, but this was called the Uncomfortable Game Show. And my question to all the youth pastors is, do you think this would work for youth ministry? So Pastor Andrew, would this work? And you got to be honest with me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Would this work for youth ministry?
Fire! Yes! Step in! Put the helmet of explosions on your head! Make an air hole so you can breathe. Are you ready?
I think so.
Can you smell it? But tonight, you're going to experience something great.
Oh, good.
Now, you've experienced uncomfortability.
So
Oh, man.
do you think that would work in youth ministry?
Yeah, so that's essentially a you won't. Like we used to just sit around the couch and just say, what stupid thing can we do that doesn't quite hospitalize us, you know? We're actually in the middle of talking to the local fire department about getting a shield and like trying to walk against a fire hose right now and like just absolutely get demolished. So yeah, that's essentially you won't. And honestly, the whole point of it is to kind of humanize ourselves. I do not like it when pastors are only on stage and their whole job is to preach. I preach so that I can have conversations with kids.
Yes.
These videos allow kids to see a human side of me, a deeper side,
Oh,
a fun
agreed.
side that they can very easily connect with. And so yeah, these types of videos, that's exactly it. And when they see their leadership in it, when they see interns, when they see worship leaders up there getting sprayed by a hose or have fire on their heads, or you made me have a banana explode on my head one time, like they like that stuff, not just because we're trying to entertain them and it's content, but it's because it's building that relationship. It's all back to that relationship side of things.
That's so good. So good. Now, a question for you. When you do this thing with the fire department, may I join you and also co-use this video in kids ministry?
Yeah.
I mean, you can spray me if you just want to spray me with. I just want to be a part of it. Any way I can be a part of this.
I'm totally fine with it. One of my adult leaders is a fireman, and I mean, maybe shouldn't say this, but he's trying to wait for his chief to be on a vacation before we do it.
I want to get injured. I want to get injured, and not because I'm weird like that, but because I can say I got injured by a fire hose.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We were thinking about doing like completely just untrained, like not ready whatsoever, just like having to do all their workouts and like climb the tower with a dummy and just like throwing up over the side and just dying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, just a couple questions left. What are some ways that kids and youth pastors can do? What are things that kids and youth pastors can do to work better together?
Yeah, so I think any relationship is intentional. And when it comes to a ministry family, there is segregation naturally, unfortunately. And unless you intentionally fight against that, nothing can really be built relationally. Our staff, yours and mine, Sean, at Destiny, it is huge. It is massive. I've been here for 4 years and I'm still like guessing names. I'm just like,
Yeah.
who are you? And when it came to you and I, there is just a huge importance from your starting area with kids through their entire life.
Yeah.
You know, you're someone that in my mind, I can't afford to not know. I can't afford to let just kind of slip by in staff meetings and stuff like that. I believe that you and I should do life together. And
Yeah.
you're so amazing and you're a great friend of mine, not just because we do ministry together and that's necessary, but because we enjoy doing life the same way.
Yeah.
And fun. And it's like my dream to be like you when I'm a year older.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's like you said, everyone has a kid in them. Like I am that. And that's the kind of mindset that I have. So it just, we're kindred spirits in that way. So I definitely believe that there is a massive importance in the connection of any youth pastor and children's pastor. And I know that not every children's pastor and youth pastor is going to have the connection or friendship that we do. You know, we can
Right.
just go to a movie tonight. Yeah, let's go to a movie tonight and go
Right.
to the theater. But there is still importance in some way, shape, or form to create an intentional connection
Yes.
with the younger generation pastors, because someday those individuals, those kids, they will be yours, and you are setting those kids up for success by having relationship with their pastor. 100%.
Wow. Well, you know, I think if I'm hearing one thing that you're really hitting hard on is that we must be individuals. I don't think it's safe to label, and from what I'm understanding, it really kind of the idea that just started hitting me in the head when you were saying this is that I don't think I should identify myself necessarily as the kids pastor and you as the youth pastor, but that our job is to reach people, and your specific target is a certain age group, and so is mine. But if we strip away the titles and just say, hey, we're reaching people, maybe they're different ages or maybe they're not. But if we can find out, if we can do for each other what we, you know, like how we find out each other's strengths and even our weaknesses, and do the same thing for our kids, then that's ministry at its basic, I think. You know, building the relationship factor and taking away the titles from it. It just because it's youth ministry doesn't mean it doesn't work for kids ministry. In fact, I remember we were down at the park and you came down to the park on a Sunday night and you said, hey, can I just hang out with you guys? And even with our friendship, I should have known better. I was just like, you want to attend a kid service? Like, really? You know? And I found myself like excited, like, wow, Andrew wants to come up and all of a sudden I felt like, oh man, I gotta make sure everything's perfect, you know, so he doesn't think it's stupid, you know. I have a challenge for you. We're going to I want to ask you one more question before we get to the challenge.
Okay.
Imagine if Pastor Greg, that's our senior pastor, came to you and said, hey, Andrew, I need you to be, maybe Sean got, you know, I blew myself up in some fire explosion and I'm gone. I need you to be the new kids pastor. I know this is probably a loaded question, but just, I want your honesty here. Like, how would you run kids ministry if you suddenly had to run kids ministry?
Well, one thing that I would do in that very likely instance that you blow yourself up, is I would certainly and immediately start to get my student leaders involved and my kids involved. And that's actually something that I am most proud of between our ministries is when I go up to your ministry on a Sunday morning, a lot of your volunteers are my student leaders. A lot of your
Mm,
volunteers are my kids,
yeah.
and we've integrated well.
Yeah.
And I've learned how to do ministry with my student leaders. So first and foremost, I would get them involved, and
Awesome.
the fact that that's already happening is amazing. And then I'd honestly strap some rockets to Ben's head and light him up and put him out with some poses. But no, I would 100% start to integrate as much as I can, because I mean, you remember when you were a kid, right? When you were
Yeah.
a freshman in high school or you were in junior high, and you saw at my school, junior high and high school were together.
Yeah.
And so I went to Capital Christian. And so uh, when I would see the high schoolers, it was just insane. Like, it was crazy. I remember going to football games and like watching the seniors like walk by me. It was just like amazing to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having the ability to have that on a level of reality, normality, and consistency, I think would just be such a powerful thing.
Well, I can vouch for the leaders that you sent me. Um, you know, if you want to keep your ministry relevant, just involve your people in it. It's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about everyone in their relationship with God as individuals. But man, if you can involve the youth, that's one thing that I know as kids pastors we often ask is how do my kids are always bored? That's something I hear a lot. My kids are bored. Well, bring in some youth. Bring in some youth to spice it up a bit and to maybe get outside your comfort zone and outside of yourself even a little bit. And I've had to constantly adjust to bringing in other people's ideas. I may not agree with all of them, but I also know I'm very limited. I just have my small little sandbox that I play in, and it's worked okay, but it's not enough. I need help, and your help has been amazing, Andrew, and your support as well. Andrew, thank you, but you're not done yet.
Okay.
We're gonna show the third part. It's the best part to the Zamboni video, I believe. Just so you guys know, this ketchup thing that we did, Andrew, I read about it, and I thought that'll be cool to do. I tried it, and I could see a reaction. I didn't try it to this effect. So when we did this, I had no idea what was happening. In fact, I can remember feeling the bottle cracking under my hand, and that's when I
Yeah.
started to lose character. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen with this. But
Yeah.
when we come back, I have a special guest, and that person's gonna lead you in a game that we're gonna play. So enjoy.
This is too much magic. We need to tone it down. Tell me, Sir Squire, long hair, do you have dreams?
Sometimes.
Because I'm about to make your wildest dreams come true. Okay. Wait, sorry. Skadoosh! Skadoosh! Do you know what this is?
Yeah, it's ketchup.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure it's not ketchup?
No, it's ketchup.
See what I did there?
My grandparents say ketchup.
Was that funny that I just did there?
Are you saying that you're old? All right, it's ketchup. Let's go.
Okay. This is magic powder. We're gonna put magic powder in the ketchup, and we're gonna shake it up. And then when we pop the top, your wildest dreams will come true. Are you ready?
So ready.
Now shake it up. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We're gonna count down from 3. And when you pop the top, your wildest dreams will come true. Do you understand? magic.
What just happened?
Skadoosh! Welcome.
Oh my God.
Welcome, Andrew. Tell me, young
Ryder,
boy.
Come here.
Tell me. Do you ever lift your dog's tail up and take a whiff? Do you, boy? To see if
No.
it smells? Can you smell it? All right. We're going to play a little game.
Oh, my ear.
This game is going to be called How Uncomfortable is Andrew? All you have to do is stare at these images, and you're going to give me a rating. You don't like balloons, do you?
Oh my gosh. No. I
So-
hate balloons.
1 balloon means you're mildly uncomfortable, and 5 balloons means you're the most uncomfortable. So, here's the image. This is the Vlad the Inhaler. Give it a rating 1 to 5 balloons.
1 balloon.
Okay, we need to get more uncomfortable then. Let's get this. Show another picture.
Oh,
This is
gosh.
Sonic Jar Jar. Or Jar Jar Sonic.
That's a good 3 right there for me.
Let's get this.
That was weird.
Here's the next one. I hate bottles. It's a stock image, which means you can buy it.
I'm gonna say 2. His smile bothers me.
We must get more uncomfortable. So here's another one.
It looks like a stun double for Agent Smith from the Matrix or something.
He's angry. You're making me angry. I want to choke you right now. Put my hands around your throat and squeeze.
That's a 4. I wasn't feeling that face. That
Okay.
corn dog looked cool.
I don't want to choke you anymore. All right, here's another one. It's Mike Wazowski.
Ice Agent Mike Wazowski.
Yes, correct. What do you rate it?
I'll say 4. That'd be so
All
bad.
right.
to-
If you don't get a 5 on this next one, then I'm going to find you where you're at, and I'm going to put a plunger in your face, and I'm going to fill it with liquid nitrogen and freeze your nose off. All right, take a look at how to make a burger.
Oh, that is so much vinegar. Oh
What-
my goodness.
What do you rate it?
I like pickles, so a 1.
Andrew, you're amazing, man. Thank you so much for playing along and being willing to put up with my stupidity, and it is stupidity. So you are really awesome, and I hope that I just pray that children's pastors get to have a friend in ministry like I have in you. So, sir, thank you so much.
I appreciate
Andrew,
that, man.
seriously.
Friendship. Thank you.
Thank you. You honor us, and Andrew, I've taken a lot of things away from today, and I hope others will too. So God bless you, sir, and thank you so much for all that you do for all the kids in my ministry. Thank you.
Yes, thank you too.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
God bless you. All right, we have one thing left we need to do, and that is the Cool website. This is for all of you hackers out there. So we need to go to Cool website, Ben.
Get ready to get jiggy with an off the He's a website you should check out. Wiggity wiggity whack.
All right, our Cool website is this. It's hackertyper.net. All you do is go to hackertyper.net, you click in the field, and you just start typing as fast as you possibly can. And it makes it look like you're typing something like you're a spy. Right? So that's about it. Hackertyper.net. Anyways, that's it. That's all we have for today. That's in my head. And next week, we're going to be talking about how to get a wingman. A wingman is essential to your kids' ministry. I happen to have one of the best in the world. He is the ultimate Swiss Army knife in kids' ministry. He's going to be on next week. Love you guys. That's it for today. We'll see you next time.